How's it going, fellas, and welcome to the channel where I kick back, relax and talk video games. And today it's going to be my park, my neighborhood, whatever you want to call it, the review. I'm going to talk about the gameplay, what they did right, what they did wrong, and everything in between. So if you like that sort of stuff, leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and comment down below all your thoughts and opinions about the park/neighborhood in NBA 2K20. Let's get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is gameplay. How many patches do you guys need? We've had like nearly 20 gig updates. That's more than the actual bloody game. Like, how many updates do we need? We can't get used to anything. 1 week the shooting's great, the next week it's terrible. 1 week the game speed's great, the next week it's terrible. And then it's great again, then it's terrible again. Time and time again, patch after patch. They keep patching things, and we can't get used to it. People have to have a chance to get used to things to actually get a feel for the game. Because as I said, sometimes an open shot full white bar goes in before a patch, and then after a patch it doesn't go in. There's so many times when I'm wide open before the patch, I green light. After the patch, I don't. I have to work on my release again because they've tweak the jump shot or tweak the speeds of jump shots and all sorts of things. They just need to tone back the patches and let us get used to things. They don't even patch the things that need to be patched, like brick wall and things like that, or worm, or quick first step. They patch shooting. Why? Why do they patch all the shooting badges straight up and we just can't get used to anything? Shooting just seems random. It just doesn't make sense. Sometimes you'll do a full bar, you'll do 3 full bars, and you'll miss all of them, and then you'll do an early or a late release, and it goes in, and it's more contested than the ones that were full white. It just doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. And has shooting and dribbling been nerfed to the point where this game just simply isn't fun anymore? It really isn't. Like, you can't dribble. That was fun. Like, it might have been a bit overpowered with people doing the spin and going from here, there, and everywhere, but it was fun to do. It actually made the game a bit exciting for point guards. The most overpowered build in the game is a friggin' rebounder. You know what I mean? That isn't good design. You never want to be a big man rebounder is the most powerful build in the game. You want the shooters, you want the dribblers to be the most exciting because they're the funnest builds to be. This game just feels very, very dull because they've dulled down the two things that were fun in NBA 2K, and that was dribbling and shooting. Now let's talk about a bit of defense. Oh, if you've made an offensive threat, you know how I'm feeling, because defense is pretty much impossible for an offensive threat. Yeah, I know. I should have made a player with more badges in defense, but I didn't. And I feel completely useless on defense. On the perimeter, players just blow past me. And then inside the paint, big men just tower over me, grab every single rebound. Rebound has no effect on positioning. It just matters on what stats you are. The ball teleports into the guy's hand, whoever has the most stats. It really does. Like, if you don't see that, I don't know what you're looking at, but clamps is the only way to be any effective on the perimeter. If you want to be any sort of effective on the perimeter, you need to have clamps. If you don't have clamps, they just blow by you time and time and time again. There's nothing you can do. You might as well throw your hands up and say, oh, I hope my big man covers me because I've got no chance of stopping this. And it really, really, really pisses me off when I feel useless. I've explained it in previous videos. I never want to feel useless. And perimeter defense, especially as a little guy, you just can't do anything. Like, you really can't. Throw in the screens that you've got to avoid and get around, and then you've got the blow-by animations. It's virtually impossible. Like, it really is. It is really easy to be a big man this year compared to being a guard. So the next thing I want to talk about is what they actually got right. The road to 99 is finally gone. I might actually get 99 overall. I might actually be a demigod. I might actually finish the game. That's what the whole point of lowering the 99 or the progress to road to 99, because nobody ever obtained it. Finally, they've realized that, and they've gotten rid of the rewards behind the progression and put the rewards behind park. That is the best thing that they've done for a very long time. Gave a rep system and then a progress system, like what we've had in previous years. So the better you do at Park, the more reward you get. If you still want to progress and get better and better and better, so you can try and get some of those rewards, you can still do that too. It's great to see. The only problem is they've dulled down the gameplay, and a 99 isn't a 99. Like, it's nowhere near as what it was last year. It's nowhere near the same, but at least it's obtainable. At least there will actually be thousands and thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of players actually getting to 99 instead of just a select few, because it was just bullshit the way it was. That's what I've just always said. What is the point of making a road to 99 if nobody gets to the end? Finally, we get to the end. The next thing I want to talk about is there's tons of early events, but we need more. The Basketball Gods is a cool one. The Treasure Hunter one, I can't remember what it's called, Treasure Kings or whatever it is. That's a cool one, but we need more. More. We need these events to last longer too, like 2 hours, 3 hours for an event. It just isn't good enough. How about you make some events that last for a day or a week, and then we can actually experience a whole event instead of having to drop everything just so we can play that event. How about giving a chance to have 2 XP for 2 or 3 days? That'd be great. Change the park so it's actually different. When you jump on, it's different. Because if you don't jump on during these set amount of times, other than these seasonal changes that will happen to the park, you don't really notice any differences. So hopefully they bring out some more new events, and a lot more frequent, and hopefully they're longer. And one last thing, last night they had a patch where they done an autumn park. That was cool. There's a lot of people talking about, oh, they didn't do that much, it's just a few leaves on the ground and that's about it. Totally agree, but it's better than nothing. It really is, because at the end of the day, if you've watched my park video, my why they didn't have a new neighborhood video, you'll know that this neighborhood is pushing the PS4 to the absolute limit. So if they keep adding and adding and adding more stuff, it's going to lag. That is the biggest problem. But the last thing I want to talk about with what they got right is the free v free Pro-Am. We have asked and asked and asked for private matchmaking for years. They finally delivered. That is one of the best features in 2K20, hands down by far. Whoever thought of that idea deserves a promotion. Take Ronnie 2K's money, because he doesn't need it. He's a lying piece of crap. But the guy that put the free v3 into the game gets my respect, because that is easily by far the best feature in NBA 2K20 Park. So the last thing I want to talk about is what they got wrong. Hiding records, 2K. We didn't want you to do it this much. When people join a game and decide that they want to verse each other, we should be able to see records. We should be able to see who's good, who's bad, whether this is going to be a hard game, easy game, or whatever. I get it. You didn't want to show records and rep and overalls and all that sort of stuff before players decide to play. I get it. Because you want players to jump on, play, and have a good time. But we need to know, once the game starts, it doesn't matter about, oh, I don't want to verse a 100 win player versus a 1 loss player. You know what I mean? I just want to jump in, see who I'm versing, and that's it. When we don't know, every game feels the same until about, 2 or 4 points in, because you realise, oh, this team's actually good, I need to step up. Or this team's bad, we can just cruise to this victory. But we need to know records right from the start, because it makes games more exciting. Because if you know that this is a comp team or a team that's hard to beat, you want to know that from the very start. The last thing I want to, or not the last thing, but the next thing I want to talk about is just, there's nothing really different. Even all the rewards are the same, the clothes are the same. Yeah, I know the park's the same, I don't want to get into that, but everything else seems to be the same. Yeah, there's a couple of new things with backpacks and things like that, but overall, it's pretty much the same. There's no really new rewards. There's a few new rewards on the spin the wheel, which is good, but other than that, it pretty much seems like the same content. That's a big problem. Because if you expect players every year to just buy the same content over and over and over again, that's a huge problem. Now let's talk disc golf. Oh, that was a great idea. Whoever thought of that idea should give their money also to the guy that made the 3v3 Pro-Am. And if he is the same guy that made that, he needs to be fired, because that disc golf is horrible. Why is it in the game? Yeah, it works alright, but nothing else does. Yeah, they've got disc golf and dodgeball and all that sort of stuff, but I still lag running around the park, and I drop frames. I can't join the mic court. I blue screen. I can't check my VIP stats. I blue screen. I can't do other things. My progression freezes. But disc golf works. Well done, 2K. We can see where your priorities are, but it's really, really annoying when you want to do simple things that we've been doing for years, and the game crashes, but yet we can do disc golf. And the last thing I want to talk about before I end this video, I didn't think the servers could get any worse, but they actually did. I'm actually non-responsive as what I usually am in previous 2Ks. Like, I never really worry about lag or unresponsiveness or latency or whatever you want to call it. It's pretty good. I don't really notice a huge difference, but as soon as I throw 2K20 on, I can notice the difference. I am probably about half a second delayed every single time. I even, as I said earlier in the video, I drop frames just running around the park. You know when you're running around the park and you'll see it freeze for a second? That's got nothing to do with connection. That's with the game actually physically dropping frames because there's too much in the park. The actual PlayStation can't handle it. That's where the problem is. It's not the actual servers, it's the actual game pushing too much on this PS4, and the PS4 can't handle it, and it's starting to skip frames. That's a huge problem if you're not running at 60 frames per second, especially outside of gameplay. There's a huge problem, and 2K needs to fix it ASAP. But anyway, guys, I've talked and raved long enough. If you do like these rant and raves, leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and comment down below all your thoughts and opinions about the park/neighborhood. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Would you change anything? Leave it all in the comments below. But anyway, guys, I've talked and raved long enough. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.